In the soft embrace of twilight, as the gentle whispers of the wind caress the rolling hills of a verdant landscape, we find ourselves drawn into the ethereal world of Celtic mythology, a realm imbued with magic, mystery, and timeless legend. The air is rich with the scent of wild thyme and heather, mingling with the crisp freshness of dewy grass underfoot, as the sky, awash in hues of twilight, transitions effortlessly from the soft blush of pink to the deep indigo of impending night. In these lands, where the echoes of ancient incantations linger like the softly fading notes of a bard's ballad, we discover the roots of a legend so profound that it has traversed the very fabric of time itself, weaving tales that have captured the imaginations of countless generations. This is the story of King Arthur and his valiant knights of the Round Table, a narrative steeped in the rich traditions and beliefs of the Celtic peoples, who saw the world as a tapestry of interwoven stories, each thread a harmonious note in the symphony of existence. Imagine, if you will, the ancient woods of Albion, where mighty oaks stand as sentinels of history, their gnarled branches a canopy under which the fabled tales of old were born and cherished. The forest floor is a mosaic of fallen leaves and delicate wildflowers, each petal shimmering with the dew of early morn, while the gentle rustling of leaves accompanies the distant song of a nightingale, serenading the coming of dusk with a melody that resonates with the timeless rhythm of the earth. Against this backdrop emerges the figure of King Arthur, a noble and gallant leader whose very name conjures visions of courage and chivalry. Born of mysterious origins, Arthur's ascent to the throne is entwined with the mystical forces of destiny, a story whispered to the ears of sleeping children and spoken around hearthfires, where the flickering flames cast shadows that dance and sway like ancient druids performing rites under the watchful gaze of the moon. It is said that Arthur's kingdom, Camelot, stood not as a mere seat of power, but rather as a beacon of hope and justice, a place where the ideals of equality and honor flourished beneath the vast azure sky. This resplendent castle, imagined by some as a gleaming fortress of stone and gold, was in truth a manifestation of the Celtic ideal, a place where the bond between man, land, and the divine was celebrated in tales and song. The walls of Camelot echoed with the laughter and camaraderie of Arthur's knights, whose loyalty and bravery were tested in quests that led them to the farthest reaches of the known world. As we journey through the annals of these epic adventures, the timeless figures of the Knights of the Round Table come into gentle focus. Sir Lancelot, whose strength in battle is matched only by the depth of his tragic love. Sir Gawain, with a heart as steadfast as the northern star. Sir Galahad, pure and unwavering in his holy quest for the Grail, and the myriad other champions whose spirits are enshrined in the legends that speak to the virtues of bravery, nobility, and sacrifice. Together, these tales form a mosaic that reflects the soul of an age where the boundaries between the mystical and the mortal often blurred into one. The Druids, those ancient custodians of Celtic wisdom, whispered of Avalons and mystical mists, places where the world of men met the world of the Fae. In their stories, the elements danced with life, river spirits frolicked in crystalline waters, and the ancients called upon the power of stone circles, where the earth hummed with a resonance that could be felt in the very marrow of one's bones. In this place of legend, where the green pastures meet the misty horizons, let us gently wander, our minds open to the mysteries that await, relishing the rich tapestries of yore that tell of King Arthur's enduring realm, a realm where the knightly virtues of courage, honor, and loyalty shine like the stars scattered across the night sky. Let us step softly into this world, where every leaf rustles with the promise of a forgotten tale, and every stone holds a secret waiting to be revealed, inviting us to listen, to dream, and to remember. As the soft tendrils of dawn's first light began to paint the ancient hills of Britain with hues of amber and gold, a tale as old as the stones whispered through the mist-laden air. It is here, among the rolling green hills and hidden vales, where magic and legend converge, that the story of King Arthur truly begins. A tale that unfolds like the delicate pages of a forgotten tome, whose ink has been kissed by time's gentle hand. In those days, long before the songs of bards carried his name across the land, Arthur was but a spark in the mind of destiny. His mother, Igraine, was a beacon of grace amidst the shadows of a turbulent world. Her beauty was legendary, much like the soft, serene glow of the moon that hangs over calm waters on a summer's night. She resided within the stone-clad walls of Tintagel, a fortress perched defiantly against the swirling tides of the Celtic Sea. The sound of the ocean waves, crashing and whispering secrets to the rugged shore, was a constant serenade to her ears, a rhythmic reminder of the world beyond her chamber. It was here that Uther Pendragon, the valiant and determined king of the Britons, cast his gaze upon her, his heart kindled with a passion as fierce as the fiery dragon emblazoned upon his banner. Yet the path of love was not untroubled, for Igraine was already pledged to another, Gorlois, Duke of Cornwall, a man whose fierce loyalty to his realm was matched only by his devotion to his wife. Thus the fates intervened, for it was the sorcerer Merlin, a figure cloaked in the mists of mystery, whose cunning and wisdom would forge the bond between Uther and Igraine, a bond that would birth a legend. Merlin's powers were known to the world, his knowledge as boundless as the skies that stretched over the vast rolling expanse of Britain. He could see beyond the veil of time, into the tapestry of fate, where the threads of past, present, and future were woven together, intricate and vast. With his guidance, Uther took on the guise of Gorlois, cloaked in enchantment, and thus entered Tintagel. The night was shrouded in an otherworldly stillness as a gentle rain began to fall, each droplet a shimmering jewel cast upon the silvered leaves. The air was thick with the scent of earth and sea and the whisper of ancient magic. In that hushed moment, beneath the shadow of destiny, Arthur was conceived. A child of both worlds, born of the noble and the mystical. Arthur's birth was shrouded in secrecy, nurtured in the quiet corners of the realm. It was in these early days that Merlin's foresight dictated the child's future. To protect Arthur from the treacherous tides of ambition and enmity, he was hidden away, a precious seed planted in the safety of the countryside, far from the gaze of those who would seek to use him for their own ends. It was within the nurturing arms of Sir Ector's household that Arthur grew, blissfully unaware of his royal lineage. Sir Ector, a noble man of integrity and compassion, resided in a quaint manor that stood amidst fields of wildflowers swaying gently in the breezes of spring. Here, life was simple yet rich, with the cadence of nature a constant accompaniment to the hum of daily life. The air was filled with the aroma of fresh bread baking, the rustle of leaves in the trees, and the distant call of larks soaring through the azure sky. Arthur's childhood was marked by a sense of wonder and innocence. The world was a tapestry of vibrant colours and vivid textures, from the coarse wool of a shepherd's cloak to the soft petals of a newly bloomed rose. He learned the ways of the land, the song of the sword and shield, the joy of friendship, and the value of honour. His days were filled with laughter and the simple joy of running through fields painted with the golden hues of the setting sun. And so, within the cradle of this humble upbringing, Arthur was crafted into the man who would, in time, reclaim his birthright and ascend to the throne of a kingdom fractured by discord and strife. His spirit was imbued with the essence of both his mortal heritage and the lingering touch of the mystical forces that had shaped his destiny. Each step he took was a step towards fulfilling a prophecy older than memory itself, a path illuminated by the guiding light of Merlin's wisdom. Thus concludes the tale of Arthur's origins, a tale woven with threads of magic and mystery, whispered by the winds and sung by the bards. The quiet strength of his lineage and the power of his destiny lay hidden, awaiting the moment when the world would know the name of Arthur, King of the Britons, and the legend of the Round Table would begin its journey through time, a beacon of chivalry, honour, and unity. In the gentle aftermath of Arthur's mysterious birth, and the weaving of his fate by the wise and cunning Merlin, a new dawn broke over the lush and rolling hills of ancient Britain. The air, crisp with the first hints of spring, carried whispers of destinies yet to unfold, of ancient prophecies readying to reveal their truth. It was in these early beads of morning that the first tendrils of a legend began to take shape, rippling through the mists that shrouded the land in its echo of silence and secrecy. In a secluded clearing within the heart of the forest, the very earth seemed to hum with an unseen energy, a resonance born from centuries of myth and magic. Here stood the stone, sturdy and steadfast, its grey surface mottled with lichen and time. Embedded within it was the sword, its hilt gleaming with a promise of power and glory, an enigma of gleaming metal that caught the light in 1,000 shimmering reflections. It was a sight both wondrous and inviting, yet imbued with a gravity that spoke to the soul's deepest yearning and reverence. The sword was not just an ordinary weapon, it was an artifact of immense significance, a symbol woven into the very fabric of Celtic mythology and Arthurian saga. Its pommel was crafted in the shape of a dragon's head, maw agape in a silent roar, while emeralds and rubies studded the crossguard, each gem a twinkling star against the backdrop of an ancient sky. Etched into the blade itself, faint runes glimmered like the ghostly script of an unseen hand, their language one of power and prophecy, secrets held tight by the ages. From every corner of the kingdom, men of valor and ambition came to test their strength and worthiness. Knights clad in armor that gleamed like sunlight upon a rippling stream, noblemen in robes dyed rich with the hues of royal favor, and brave farmers with hands calloused by honest toil, all were drawn by the allure of the sword, by the hope of glory and the whisper of destiny. Yet, for all their might and determination, none could move the blade from its rocky perch, each attempt met with an immovable resistance that seemed to echo with a silent, knowing laughter. In the small village where Arthur lived humbly, serving as a mere squire in his foster father's household, the tales of this enchanted sword reached his ears like a song carried by the wind. Despite his modest upbringing, there was a spark within Arthur, a quiet courage and nobility that set him apart, as though the very stars had conspired to infuse his soul with the light of their eternal dance. One fateful day, as the sun cast a golden glow across the kingdom, Arthur found himself drawn to the clearing as if led by an unseen hand. The air around him felt alive, vibrant with possibilities, each breath he took filled with the scent of wildflowers blooming in a symphony of color. The leaves of ancient oaks rustled gently above, a soft murmur of encouragement from the living canopy. Approaching the stone, Arthur felt a calmness settle over him, a serene certainty coursing through his veins, whispering of a truth long known but yet to be realized. His fingers brushed the cool hilt of the sword, and at that moment a gentle breeze stirred, carrying with it the scent of distant seas and forgotten lands. For Arthur, it seemed as though time itself paused, holding its breath in anticipation of the destiny poised on the cusp of unfolding. With a gentle yet firm grasp, Arthur pulled. Effortlessly, as though the sword had been waiting for this very moment, it slid free, singing with a voice that rang clear and true across the forest, like a bell tolling in the stillness of a distant chapel. The earth seemed to sigh in relief, the leaves danced joyously above, and the birds broke into a chorus of song, celebrating the birth of a new era. The world had shifted, an ancient promise fulfilled, and Arthur stood there, bathed in the morning light, a young man whose hands now held the weight of a kingdom and the hopes of a people. The humble squire had been transformed into the destined king, and the path to Camelot lay open before him, paved with the dreams and aspirations of those who believed fervently in the promise of a just and noble reign. Thus, in that moment, rich with magic and legend, the tale of the sword in the stone was etched forever into the history of Arthurian lore, an enduring testament to the power of fate and the indomitable spirit of those chosen to alter the course of history. As the gleaming blade emerged from its stone and anvil resting place, King Arthur's destiny as the chosen monarch was cemented, his rule destined to be guided by not only the strength of his arm, but the wisdom of his heart. With Excalibur now clasped in his noble grip, Arthur turned his sights towards the formation of his court, a place where valor, wisdom, and companionship could flourish unchecked, where the aspirations of a new age could take root and spread like the boughs of the ancient oaks in the heart of Avalon. In the rolling green hills of Camelot, beneath skies that seemed to shimmer with the blessing of fairy enchantment, the seeds of an idea began to form: the Round Table. It was said that the idea was influenced by Merlin, the enigmatic sorcerer whose counsel Arthur held in high esteem. Yet more than mere legend, the Round Table was a metaphysical reflection of the ideals cherished by Arthur, a place where hierarchy dissipated like morning mist, giving way to an egalitarian spirit of fraternity and fellowship. The table itself was crafted by the skilled hands of Cornish artisans, hewn from the heartwood of a sacred oak tree, an ancient symbol of strength and endurance. Its surface was polished to a mirror-like sheen, glowing warmly beneath the soft light that filtered through the stained glass windows of the great hall. Surrounding it, the walls were adorned with tapestries colored in rich hues of burgundy and gold, each thread woven with depictions of great deeds and noble quests. The air in the hall was perpetually kissed by the scent of beeswax and burning yew logs, a gentle reminder of the eternal flame of chivalry and honor that fueled the spirits of those who gathered there. Upon completion, the round table became more than a mere object. It was a symbol, a circle never ending, infinite in its promise, where no head presided and all were equal. It was at this table that Arthur's knights would gather, each seat around it a space where every voice was heard, where titles and land were left at the door and the quest for righteousness and justice took precedence. Each knight, whether clad in the azure blue of Sir Lancelot or the verdant green of Sir Gawain, was bound by the oaths they swore at the Round Table, vowing to uphold the virtues of courage, honor, mercy, and faith. The tradition of the Round Table extended beyond mere physical presence. It embodied a covenant of brotherhood that united the knights both in times of peace and in the tests of battle. The tales spun within its embrace spoke of equal partnerships and shared burdens, fostering a camaraderie as strong as the links of the finest chainmail. Here, wisdom was exchanged for experience, youthful exuberance tempered by the seasoned insights of older knights, and stories of distant lands and mystical creatures brought forth inspiration and motivation for valiant quests. The gentle murmur of discussions and the soft laughter echoing from the Round Table were always present, much like the ever-flowing streams of the Welsh countryside. Within this circle, decisions that shaped the destiny of Arthur's kingdom were made, with focus on justice that was shared rather than imposed. The knights' call to arms did not glorify war, but rather sought to protect and preserve, to ensure that the peace of Camelot might reflect the tranquil stillness of the sacred lake where Excalibur had found its true owner. Its presence resonated throughout the halls of Camelot, a silent witness to the transformation of young aspirants into legendary heroes, their lives intertwined with the spirit of the table. Its existence served as a perpetual reminder that true strength lies not in domination, but in camaraderie and unity. Like the soft whisper of the Cornish breeze that dances between the ancient stones of Tintagel, the ideals kindled at the Round Table flowed throughout the land, touching the lives of those who heard the tales of its existence, its legends spreading far and wide. Thus, within the heart of Camelot, the Round Table stood not simply as a physical entity, but as a testament to the power of equality and unity, a circular thread of binding fellowship that connected each knight to something far greater than themselves, a shared vision of a world transformed by nobility, compassion, and enduring courage. It became a beacon, guiding the knights through both the darkness of the unknown and the brilliance of their enlightened purpose, sculpting a legacy that would echo down the corridors of history as a beacon of hope and a reminder of the greatness that can be achieved when disparate souls unite under a common cause. As the Round Table found its unity in purpose and valor, the tales of their formation became whispers on the breath of the wind, carrying far across the lush emerald landscapes of Camelot. From these whispers, the call for a new quest arose, one that beckoned the most solemn of pursuits, a journey imbued with the promise of divine illumination and the mysteries of the sacred. This was the quest for the Holy Grail, a relic hallowed by its deep connection to the divine and shrouded in the mists of both history and myth. The Grail, in its purest essence, represented more than a mere object. It was an invitation to a spiritual odyssey, a chalice said to contain life's most profound secrets and the divine grace of eternal enlightenment. In the heart of King Arthur's court, the air hung heavy with anticipation as the knights prepared themselves for this sacred journey. The Round Table, now brightly polished and gleaming under the soft candlelight of the hall, was more than just a symbol of equality. It was the launching pad for quests that transcended the boundaries of earthly endeavors. As the knights sat in their allotted seats, their minds drifted toward the call of the Grail, their hearts stirring with readiness to seek out this holy relic. Each knight felt the sacred pull of the quest as though it was a melody playing in the depths of their souls. Sir Galahad, pure of heart and noble in spirit, was said to be destined for greatness on this fabled journey. There was an ethereal quality about him, often enveloped in a gentle luminescence, as if the heavens themselves had imparted a subtle glow upon his presence. His armor seemed to shimmer with a light that came from within, casting soft reflections across the stone floors of Camelot's grand hall. Sir Lancelot, known for his unmatched prowess and complex heart, found in this quest a chance for redemption and wisdom. His eyes often reflected deep contemplation as he pondered the intertwining paths of love, honor, and spiritual fulfillment. The morning of their departure dawned gently, the sky painted in pastel hues of blush and gold as the first light of the sun caressed the sleeping land. This was a time when the world seemed to pause, holding its breath in reverence of what was to come. As the knights mounted their steeds, the air was crisp and filled with the scent of dew-kissed grass and the distant fragrance of blossoming heather. Their banners fluttered softly in the breeze, each with the crests of their respective houses, a silent testament to their unyielding loyalty and courage. Their journey led them through ancient forests, where towering oaks and whispering willows formed a cathedral of nature around them. The ground beneath their horses' hooves was cushioned by a tapestry of fallen leaves, their autumnal hues merging to form a patchwork of amber and russet. In the quiet moments of their travel, the only sounds were the gentle rustling of foliage and the distant song of a lark, threading its melody through the stillness of the air. As they pressed on, the knights encountered distant villages where stories of the Grail had become the stuff of legend, woven into the very fabric of everyday life. The townsfolk, clad in simple woolen garments, would gather to offer provisions from their hard-earned stores, their eyes wide with admiration and hope at these noble figures on a quest for the divine. The warmth of their gratitude wrapped around the knights like a protective cloak, a reminder of the world they were entrusted to protect through their deeds. The path ahead was not always a clear one, for the Grail was known to reveal itself only to the worthy. It was said to lie hidden in a place beyond the ordinary world, where time and space were mere illusions. Each knight carried the knowledge that this journey was as much about self-discovery as it was about finding the Grail itself. Trials awaited them, not in the form of formidable beasts or treacherous terrains, but as inner conflicts that would test their faith, integrity, and understanding of what it truly meant to be chosen for such a sacred task. In the quiet of the night, beneath a canopy of stars, the knights would often find solace by the flickering flames of their campfire. The warmth of the fire was a subtle echo of Camelot's hearth, offering both comfort and a reminder of the home they temporarily left behind. Underneath the vast, endless sky, thoughts of hope, faith, and destiny mingled with the crackling of the wood, as they dreamed of the moment when the Grail would reveal itself, and with it, the wisdom to illuminate their paths with newfound clarity. And so, guided by the gentle insistence of fate and the pull of their hearts, the knights journeyed ever onward, through the rolling landscapes, across the shimmering waters that mirrored the heavens, and into the veiled mysteries of the world, where the Grail awaited, a beacon of divine grace and everlasting light. As the echoes of the quest for the Holy Grail began to fade into tales whispered around the hearths of medieval great halls, a different kind of narrative took root within the storied courts of Camelot. It was a tale woven not from the threads of holy relics and pious journeys, but from the rich tapestry of human emotion, a tale that would become as legendary as any dragon-slaying or mystical pursuit. This was the tale of Sir Lancelot du Lac and Queen Guinevere, a tale of profound love and inevitable tragedy, filled with the poignant beauty and aching sadness of their forbidden affection. In the stillness of Camelot's timeless grounds, where the grand hues of twilight often painted the castle's stone walls with shades of lavender and rose, the whispers of nature seemed to echo their secret longing. The rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze, the whispered songs of birds at dusk, and the soft murmur of the river flowing beneath the stone bridge were constant companions to their unspoken truths, as if the very landscape conspired to keep their secret. Lancelot had arrived at Camelot as the epitome of chivalric valor, his gleaming armor and unyielding courage earning him a place beside King Arthur at the noble Round Table. The other knights spoke in hushed admiration of his prowess in battle and his unerring sense of justice. Yet beneath his stoic exterior there burned a heart full of passion, one that would find its true resonance in the queen's warm gaze, as fleet and fleeting as a sunbeam breaking through morning mist. Queen Guinevere, resplendent in her regal finery, her golden hair cascading like a river of sunlight over her shoulders, was the very picture of noble grace and serene beauty. The court knew her for her wisdom and gentle spirit, the embodiment of regal stature standing poised by Arthur's side. Yet beneath the crown, Guinevere's heart beat with the yearning for something more, something that she discovered unbidden in the presence of the brave knight Lancelot. Their love, though profound and consuming, was tinged with the shadow of betrayal that lay like a dark veil over their furtive glances and whispered conversations. Each shared moment was a delicate dance upon a wire stretched taut by duty and desire, their hearts caught in an eternal debate between the love they felt and the vows they had sworn. Theirs was a love that was both a balm and a bruise, tender yet fraught with the inevitable tension of a secret that could not endure the harsh light of day. In the hushed sacred spaces of Camelot's gardens, where the air was perfumed with the scent of blooming roses and jasmine, Lancelot and Guinevere often found sanctuary. Here, amid the soft glow of moonlight filtering through the intricacies of oak boughs, they spoke of dreams and desires, as if time itself paused to listen. Beneath the stars that glittered like scattered jewels across the velvet canopy of night, they would steal moments together, their voices a gentle murmur intertwined with the lullaby of crickets and the distant hoot of an owl. But every tale of passion intertwined with betrayal carries within it the seeds of its own demise. The court, once a haven of camaraderie and noble pursuit, began to sense the undercurrents of tension as rumors wove through the corridors like specters, threatening to unravel the delicate fabric of their concealed affection. The Round Table, symbol of unity and brotherhood, was now a stage upon which this tragic drama began to unfold. As gossamer threads of suspicion tightened around them, the lovers found themselves caught in a web of intrigue and jealousy. Subtly at first, then with increasing fervour, the whispers grew louder. Sir Mordred, Arthur's own kin with an ambition as sharp as any sword, began to fan the flames of discord with a cunning that aspired to see the mighty fall. In the end, the love of Lancelot and Guinevere, though pure and genuine, was the catalyst for a series of events that would ultimately lead to the fracturing of Arthur's great court, a tragic epilogue to a story of sacred vows and unrelenting hearts, their love both their torment and testament. And so, as the quiet strength of the river continues in its ancient course, the memory of their love endures, echoing in the songs of bards and the murmured tales of history, a mournful reminder of how deeply love can cut, even as it heals. In the gentle rhythm of Camelot's enduring legend, the tale of Lancelot and Guinevere remains a haunting reminder that even in the greatest courts of chivalry, the human heart remains a place of turbulent beauty and infinite longing, a paradox as eternal and mysterious as the stars themselves. Title: The Enchanted Isle of Avalon. Text: As the poignant tale of Lancelot and Guinevere fades gently into the folds of history, our journey now meanders towards Avalon, the fabled island shrouded in mystery and mist, where King Arthur is said to slumber in eternal repose. Transitioning from the world of mortal frailty and earthly passion, we find ourselves beckoned by the ethereal call of this enchanted realm, a place whispered of in songs and legends, a retreat from the trials of knighthood and chivalric duties. Mont Avalon, the Isle of Apples, known for its lush orchards heavy with fruit of the most vibrant hues, lies just beyond the veils of perception, an oasis of tranquility where time itself seems to flow like the gentle ripples upon a secluded pond. Its name evokes a sense of otherworldly calm, a harmonious landscape where the air is always sweetened by the blossoms of apple trees, their petals drifting lazily on the soft breezes that caress the verdant hills. The sunlight, when it pierces through the canopy of trees, scatters into 1,000 golden shards, dancing playfully across the lush foliage and the soft earth beneath. The island itself is a living tapestry, woven from the threads of ancient magic and nature's enduring beauty. Mists hang low over the waters surrounding its shores, a pearlescent shroud that guards Avalon from the eyes of the unworthy. In the distance, one might hear the soft lapping of waves against the rocky coast, a gentle lullaby that sings the isle's secrets to the few who listen. As you set foot upon its sacred soil, the world feels hushed, as if in reverence to the ancient spirits that dwell here, their presence almost tangible in the very air. None tall, noble oaks and stately yews stretch towards the heavens, their roots intertwined with the mysteries of the earth, while willows with their graceful limbs bend as if to whisper closely guarded secrets to the eddying brook that winds its way through the heart of Avalon. Here, birds sing songs that echo the tales of old, their melodies drifting through the trees in perfect harmony with the rustling leaves, creating a symphony of nature that soothes the weary soul. In the myths recount that Avalon was the abode of the Lady of the Lake, Viviane and her sisters, the wise women who honed the ancient arts and nurtured the mysteries of the land. Within this realm, Arthur is tended by these enchanting beings, his wounds healed by their tender ministrations, his spirit at peace amidst the embrace of eternal spring. It is said that the island's magic is woven into the fabric of its being, sustaining life, fostering healing, and granting the gift of eternity to those who are deemed worthy. In the very center of this isle rests a serene lake, its crystalline waters reflecting the azure sky above, dotted with the white, delicate blooms of water lilies. Their fragrance is ephemeral, a gentle perfume that lingers in the air, mingling with the sweet, tart scent of the apples that hang heavy on the boughs nearby. These apples, golden red in the soft afternoon sun, are said to grant longevity and wellness to those who partake of them, a symbol of Avalon's life-renewing magic. The tranquility of Avalon is felt deeply here, where the pathways of soft moss and delicate wildflowers lead to stone structures, ancient and covered in creeping vines, where wisdom was once shared and time ceased to hold dominion. Each stone tells a story, carved with the sacred symbols of a time forgotten by those who walk the mundane world beyond the mists. It is a world preserved in eternal bloom, where every corner is a sanctuary from the weight of earthly troubles, a place of reflection and endless serenity. Nanes the sun sets on Avalon, casting a warm amber glow over the landscape. The sky transforms into a canvas of soft pinks and purples. This tranquil twilight is accompanied by the gentle song of the night creatures awakening, their calls echoing over the still waters, a reminder of the delicate balance between light and shadow, between day and night. Here, in this moment of perfect peace, the heart beats in time with the rhythm of the world, a quiet promise of hope and renewal. Thus, Avalon remains, an eternal isle beyond reach, a sanctuary of myths and legends, where King Arthur rests, a promise of return and the enduring power of peace and healing. In our dreams, we may wander here, guided by stories passed from lips to ears, a gentle reminder that such tranquility and beauty exist within our grasp, waiting to be discovered anew. As the mists of Avalon gently part to reveal the luminous glow of its enchanted shores, we journey back to the heart of Arthurian legend, where profound wisdom and magical prowess guide the fate of Camelot. Just as the secluded isle cloaked in mystery bestows healing and knowledge, so too does Merlin, the sage and sorcerer, whose presence at Arthur's side is as steadfast as the ancient stones gracing the landscapes of Britain. Amidst the verdant hills and whispering woods, where ancient oaks stand in solemn watch, Merlin embodies the timeless wisdom of the Celts, his mind a tapestry woven with the threads of ages long past. His eyes, like deep pools of reflective water, harbor a knowledge that transcends the boundaries of the ordinary world. It is said that Merlin was born in the wild, a child of wondrous promise and extraordinary fate, gifted with foresight and a mastery over the elements themselves. In the quiet moments when the air is thick with the scent of honeysuckle and the gentle hum of bees, one might imagine Merlin deep in thought, his mind attuned to the rhythms of the earth. His robe, a flowing garment of unassuming grey, drapes over him like the softest wool spun by nimble hands, while the hem trails softly across the dew-kissed grass beneath his feet. In his presence, time seems to pause, the world holding its breath in reverence of the wisdom he imparts. Merlin's wisdom is not merely of men's affairs. It is an intricate understanding of nature's grand design, an intimate dialogue with the creatures of the wood and the stars that blaze in the night's expanse. He is the bridge between worlds, his counsel echoing with the distant chant of druids who once gathered in sacred groves, under skies painted with the glow of 1,000 flickering stars. His voice carries the lilt of valleys and the whisper of streams, a gentle reminder that even the most turbulent of lives are part of a greater harmonious whole. In the court of Camelot, where Arthur presides over the Round Table, Merlin's role is that of guide and guardian. It is his magic that forges the path and clears the shrouded future for the young king destined for greatness. Merlin sees the potential within Arthur, understanding that true power lies not in the strength of arms, but in the purity of purpose and the justice of leadership. This unyielding dedication to the ideals of chivalry and honor forms the bedrock of Arthur's reign, much as the enduring mountains hold the earth firm. Merlin's magic is both subtle and grand, revealed in the smallest turn of a leaf or the grandest sweep of the night sky. With a mere whisper, he can summon the winds to carry messages across great distances, or calm the tempestuous seas should they threaten the shores of his beloved land. The air around him seems to shimmer with an almost imperceptible energy, a testament to the unparalleled power he wields with benevolence and wisdom. His staff, carved from the sacred yew, is not just a conduit for his power, but a symbol of his deep connection to the earth and its eternal cycles. In his private moments, Merlin wanders the landscapes of his homeland, his footsteps treading softly upon the earth, yet leaving an indelible mark upon the pages of history. He is often found at dawn, the first light of day casting long shadows across the dew-laden moors, where the chill of morning is tempered by the promise of the sun's warmth. Here, amidst the serene beauty of nature, Merlin contemplates the balance of all things, the interplay of light and shadow, peace and conflict. Throughout his life, Merlin remains the enigmatic force behind the throne, his influence felt in the quiet confidence of Arthur's decisions, and the enduring legacy of peace he strives to establish. It is Merlin's wisdom that shapes the vision of Camelot, a beacon of hope and justice that shines brightly in the annals of time. Under his steady gaze, the kingdom flourishes, becoming a tapestry of myth and reality interwoven, much like the man himself. As we reflect upon Merlin's enduring wisdom, his gentle guidance through the ages, we are reminded that true magic lies not in the power to command the elements, but in the heart's capacity for empathy, understanding, and the courage to imagine a better world. In this, Merlin is not just Arthur's mentor, but a timeless teacher whose lessons remain etched in the stars, inspiring all who dare to dream. As Merlin's voice faded like the whisper of leaves being gently carried away by the autumn wind, the prophecy that he had so reluctantly shared with King Arthur began to take shape in the early morning mists of Camlann. The serene wisdom of the old enchanter, with his eyes ancient and knowing, slowly retreated into the background, leaving the field awash with the quiet preparations for the imminent clash. Dawn broke over the landscape, coloring the sky with hues of subtle rose and muted gold, as if the heavens themselves were weaving an intricate tapestry, soft and embracing, over the land destined to witness the close of an era. The soft dew clung to the blades of grass like shimmering diamonds, catching the early light as though holding on to the very essence of peace for just a moment longer. However, beneath this tranquil veneer, there was a burgeoning tension, palpable yet strangely composed, the calm before the inevitable tempest. Arthur, the storied king of Camelot, stood amid this unfolding tableau with a noble grace that seemed to transcend the earthly realms. Against the ethereal backdrop of distant fading stars, his armor was a resolute gleam of burnished steel, a testament to years of valor and an iconic emblem of chivalry in a world shrouded by myth and legend. As he surveyed the field, Arthur's thoughts wandered to those halcyon days spent in the hallowed halls of Camelot, where laughter and song echoed off the stone walls, and the ideals of the Round Table flourished under his guiding hand. Now, here upon the eve of fate's design, he felt the gentle reverberations of memory, each a soft, layered note in the symphony of his reign. His knights, those unwavering companions through trials both seen and unseen, stood beside him. They were steadfast, their very presence a cure for shadowed doubt, each a living testament to the virtues they had fought so diligently to uphold. The air was cool, carrying with it a crispness suggestive of impending change, the kind that beckons with the quiet inevitability of a season. As the sun climbed higher, the soft rustling of armor and the faint muffled calls of preparation began to weave into the surroundings, a rhythm both comforting and solemn. Lance and sword, shield and helm, each piece prepared with meticulous care, whispered to the soil beneath their feet, connecting man to earth in a communion as old as time. The forces opposing Arthur were led by Mordred, his once trusted knight and now the agent of destiny's cruel machination. Mordred's camp was settled across the valley, where the soft mist lay like a gentle shroud upon the earth, veiling the harsh reality of what was destined to be. Between these two camps lay a space, vast and charged, like the stillness between breaths, a moment poised delicately on the precipice of change. The first light of battle broke with a hesitant flare, as if the skies themselves grieved for what would follow. The stillness that had enveloped Camlann's vale shattered with the clashing of swords, a sound that echoed through the ages, mingling with the cries of valiant warriors. Yet amid the chaos, where the air grew thick with the scent of earth and metal, there persisted a strange, surreal peace, as though the spirits of old gathered to bear witness, their presence a gentle caress upon the wind. Throughout the melee, King Arthur shone with a presence so luminous it seemed as if he carried within him the very light of the sun. His movements were fluid and sure, a dance of steel and sinew, his heart a bastion of resolve and honor. Despite the battle swirling around him, there was a quietude in Arthur's soul, a calm acceptance of the path laid before him, each choice a thread weaving into the tapestry of his destiny. It was during the waning hours of the battle, as the sun dipped low and bathed the land in a rich saffron glow, that the end became clear. Mordred, in a final, fateful confrontation, approached, the shadow of betrayal lingering in his eyes, the heavy weight of all that had come to pass bearing down upon his shoulders. The clash of their meeting was a roaring silence, the culmination of all that had been and all that might have been, their swords singing a song of sorrow and valor. In the quiet moments following, as Arthur felt the chill of twilight stealing upon him, he found a profound peace amidst the echoes and whispers of the world around him. The knights who had stood by his side gathered, their eyes mirrors of loss and respect, their hearts heavy, yet filled with the light of memories shared and dreams pursued. Thus ended the tale of Arthur at Camlann's embrace, where the wind sang a lullaby of kings and knights, of dreams born and lives fulfilled, a gentle benediction upon the noble heart of Camelot's finest son. As the mists of Avalon gently recede and the echoes of the Battle of Camlann fade softly into the annals of time, we find ourselves on the threshold of a realm where history and legend entwine, living on through the whispered tales of generations. Here, the legacy of King Arthur and his noble knights endures, like the shimmering reflection of moonlight on the calm, still waters of a sacred lake, weaving its threads into the rich tapestry of cultures scattered far and wide across the sands of time. With each passing century, the stories of valor, chivalry, and eternal quests have been recounted, their essence embedded into the very heart of our collective memory. In medieval courts and peasant hovels alike, where fires crackled and the soothing aroma of wood smoke lingered in the air, balladeers and storytellers shared the legends in hushed, reverent tones, keeping alive the spirit of Camelot and its gallant band of knights. Their tales, steeped in a world where honor and bravery stood as pillars of a noble existence, became a beacon of inspiration and virtue for countless listeners, urging them to dream of a world where justice prevails and heroism triumphs. The Round Table, an enduring symbol of equality and unity, has inspired generations to seek harmony and resolve differences with compassion and courage. Its legendary shape, with no head to confer undue authority, heralded a gathering where every knight's voice carried weight, echoing through the ages as a timeless reminder of the power of collaboration and shared purpose. Just as it stood solidly in the majestic halls of Camelot, the idea of the Round Table lives on in modern gatherings, fostering a spirit of mutual respect and understanding. The myths of Arthur and his knights have transcended their origins, woven into the fabric of literature and art, sparking the imaginations of poets, playwrights, and artists who sought to capture the magic and majesty of these timeless tales. In illuminated manuscripts, the vibrant colors of emerald and gold dance across the pages, depicting scenes of fierce battles and enchanted forests, capturing the essence of a world where magic and reality coalesce into an unforgettable narrative. The allure of Arthurian legend has traversed oceans and continents, mingling with diverse traditions and spawning new interpretations that enrich the global heritage of storytelling. In the realms of Celtic twilight, where the writhing knots and spirals of intricate designs echo the mysteries of ancient lore, the figure of Arthur emerges as an embodiment of both the mythical and the historical, a bridge linking the earthly with the divine. As night descends and the soft glow of twilight gives way to the encompassing embrace of darkness, the echoes of minstrels singing by dim candlelight can still be imagined, their voices carrying the timeless sagas into the night air, weaving them into the dreams of generations yet to come. The tales of Sir Lancelot's unmatched prowess, Sir Gawain's unwavering gallantry, and the quest for the Holy Grail remain etched in the deep recesses of the human psyche, echoing the eternal search for meaning and transcendence. In the quiet moments of reflection, as our thoughts meander like a tranquil brook through the lush landscape of memory and imagination, we feel the profound influence of these legends, like an ancient melody playing softly in the background of our lives. Remnants of Arthurian legacy whisper in our modern existence in the concepts of bravery, loyalty, and the eternal hope for a better world. They encourage us, with gentle insistence, to aspire to ideals beyond the mundane, to seek the extraordinary within ourselves and our world. As you drift further into the relaxing embrace of rest, imagine the gentle sway of the ancient oaks that once surrounded the hallowed halls of Camelot, their leaves rustling softly in the night breeze, a rustle that speaks of wisdom and continuity, carrying with it the stories of old. The tales of King Arthur and his valiant knights lie waiting, like an unopened book on a forgotten shelf, ready to awaken within us the dreams of courage and the magic of possibility. And so, as we close this chapter and let the calm of a gentle, star-studded night envelop us, remember that the legends continue to live on within the quiet places of our hearts, a flickering flame of inspiration to guide our own quests. As we journey onward, deeper into the soothing waters of dreams, gently cradled by the enduring legacies of yore, resting at last beneath the timeless canopy of a starlit sky. May your night be filled with peace and the echoes of these ancient legends, guiding you softly into a realm of restful serenity.